Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Can anyone unmute himself or herself and speak up because I can't hear any one of you?
Yes, ma'am, your voice is coming.
So I
Ma'am,
want,
can you hear us?
yeah, now I can hear you all. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Evening, ma'am.
Good
Uh,
evening, ma'am.
how many of you are in the hostel or right now?
Right now, we are in our home. The hostel allotment is on 21 and 22. So we'll go tomorrow.
Okay, so you're going to get your hostels on the 21st and 22nd.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
till
ma'am.
now you have been at home since the start of the semester, or you were in the college also?
Ma'am, we were at the
No,
college
ma'am.
also. We
Okay.
were back to home on the 1st of January.
Ma'am, our semester hasn't started yet. It's yet to begin on 23rd.
Right. All right. So how many of you all are traveling tomorrow?
Ma'am,
Can I get
Should we
a,
raise our hands?
yeah, that'll be better.
okay.
Because I just want to know that if I should conduct a session tomorrow, is that all, or there are more people who are traveling? So I'm sure you all are traveling in the mornings, right? Evenings should be free for you all, if that is so.
No, ma'am.
So you're going to get your hostel and set up over there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how about others? Others are not traveling? Are they localites or what?
Yes,
And
ma'am. We
we
are
will be
local
traveling on
actually.
21st.
Yes, ma'am. We'll be traveling on 21st.
Okay, so you all are traveling on the 21st, right? Right, guys. All right. From the last session, I remember Saksham Sikri. Saksham, can I hear from you?
Yes, ma'am.
So Saksham, I don't know, there was a technical glitch or what. I
Yes,
somehow
ma'am.
got disconnected, and through your connection, everyone was put on mute. So
Ma'am,
please,
I don't know that.
so yeah, all of you, please make sure you're there in the class. It should not be that you switched
Ma'am,
on the class.
actually, ma'am, no, ma'am, I was able to hear your voice, but there was nothing such like that from my end.
Okay. Right, Saksham. I am just trying to tell everyone to just be careful that that doesn't happen in future, right? So, all right,
Yes,
guys,
ma'am.
we start with the third session of finance for engineers. The last where we left was at mutual funds. Can we all switch on the cameras first? If I can switch on my camera, I'm sure you all can. I'm waiting. All of you all. I mean, why should the teacher go through all the problems of switching on the camera and showing you her face? We need to see the students also. All right. Anyone has any confusions from the last session? We talked about the financial system. We talked about the components of financial system. So anyone has any confusions, you can please come up and ask me. I give you 5 minutes. And if you don't have any confusions, I can take the session forward. So I assume everyone is clear about whatever was taught in the last session, right? So I take it further from there then. Today I'm going to talk about mutual funds. That's where I left last. I hope you all remember. This is where we were. So you all remember these slides, right? These have been shared with you too, right? So we were here at the financial instruments. How many of you went through the notes which I shared? So Ayush and Satuti and Isha. No, not Isha. Anyone else who went through? Okay. Is that all? So Ishan, can I hear from
Yes,
you?
ma'am.
Ishan, what are treasury bills?
Ma'am, I don't exactly remember. Ma'am, I wasn't available
Okay,
in class. I don't
let's-
exactly remember all
One
these
second.
terms.
1 second, Ishan. If you've gone through the notes, I don't want you
Yes, ma'am.
to give me the definition of all these terms. I just want to know that what do you think do capital markets and money markets deal in?
No, ma'am, I have forgotten this part. We'll need to revise this.
Okay, anyone else?
Money markets deal in short-term gains such as maturity for less than 1 year, I think so, and capital market deal with long-term gains or greater than 1 year maturity securities.
Right. So guys, I don't want you to, cram something or something which I'm teaching. It is all practical thing which you're going to learn, because at the end, you go out of the college, you're going to earn and you're going to be investing in all these markets and all these instruments. So they have to be actually imbibed in you. Just don't learn them ki haan ratta marne ke liye yaad karna hai, right? So I'm not here to make you cram all these topics. Just try and understand and just take them deeper inside your head so that, you take a look at it and you know, okay, this is this. अब ट्रेजरी बिल्स में मुझे ये नहीं जानना है कि ट्रेजरी बिल होता क्या है. शायद मुझे इतनी डीपर डिटेल्स मुझे भी नहीं पता होंगी if I would come to that. At the end, all you need to know is treasury bill is a money market instrument, and it's a short-term instrument which has a maturity period of less than 1 year. Long-term nahi hota hai, right? So these are just general small things which you all need to know. Anyway, we go further. We talk about mutual funds. How many of you have heard about mutual funds? Can I
Ma'am, I have only heard about it in ads, etc. In TV ads.
Ads.
Okay, so you've just anyone who's heard about mutual funds else than advertisements?
Ma'am, I know a little bit about it. I think they take the money from if we invest there, if we give the money, they take money from our side and just invest in the other companies or wherever. They buy the shares and they give the profit or any return to us back after some years, 3-4 years.
Okay. Anyone else?
Mutual fund is something where we pool in the money and then get the returns. And it's not necessary that we have to pool in the money for the entire duration. We can have pool in the money for the time we require, like for 1 year, 2 year, and then we can take our returns back and move back.
So Satuti, what do you mean by pooling? And I hope I'm not pronouncing your name right.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do you mean by pooling money?
Ma'am, pooling means that many investors come in and then they invest their money, and like one person raise their money and get returns from it after investing in certain companies or stocks, bonds.
Okay. So, Satuti, what you're doing, you're taking it the other way around. While it's completely the other side of what you're saying. Now, say
Ma'am,
suppose
isn't it like when you get a
Isha?
person who's professional, ma'am, Isha?
Yeah,
Yes, ma'am.
Isha, I
So,
can recognize your voice. Yeah.
so ma'am, someone who's professional, they are going to invest for you. So, like for example, you invest in a mutual fund, so you can invest in something. Someone else is going to put in money into shares for you instead of you doing it individually. So it is possible for you to, decide which level of mutual fund like you want it. For example, if you want to pull in money into large investments, or if you want which kind of risks you want to take, you can decide that, but you can't decide which companies exactly they're going to invest your money into.
Okay, guys, listen to me. I know a lot of you are raising hands. Let me get back to the ones who are raising their hands. But before that, I would want to actually explain you what a mutual fund is. Now, think this as a basket wherein there are various securities or stocks, bonds, shares placed, right? From different companies. So what this basket forms is one mutual fund. Now, I would name this mutual fund as ABC Mutual Fund, right? Now, I float this mutual fund in the market. I am the company. I have made this mutual fund. I float this mutual fund in the market. You all are my investors. So 3 or 4 of you, you come to me and you give me 1 lakh rupees each, and you invest in my mutual fund. So me as an asset management company with this ABC mutual fund in my hand, what am I going to do is through this mutual fund, I am going to invest your 1 lakh rupee each, which I've collected from you all in all these securities in a specific proportion. Now, what do I mean by a specific proportion? By that, I mean when I say that one mutual fund has 20 equity shares, 30 bonds, 40 treasury bills. So, right? So what is the percentage? 30, 30, 40, right? So 30% equity में जाएगा, 30% bond में जाएगा, 40% treasury bills में जाएगा, right? So that is what makes a mutual fund. So that is why it is an investment vehicle which pools investors' money. And Isha, it is not that the other person, he is investing on your behalf, but you have to give money. And he's going to do the technical part of investing on your behalf, and they are going to make sure that you get maximum returns from your money, right? So these are what are asset management companies. Now there are zillions of mutual funds. Every company has their own mutual fund. HDFC has, ICICI has, all the banks have, Tata's, all the good companies have, like KPMG. So they all have their own asset management companies, through which you can invest in mutual funds, right? So now, yes, please.
Can you explain it once again?
Mutual fund.
Yes, ma'am.
Parv, so let's go again. Let me not take it in the form of, let me take it in the form of fruits first, and then we'll shift to mutual funds. So you have a basket of fruits in which you have 2 kg apples, 1 kg orange, and 3 kg bananas, right? So 2:1:3 is the ratio.
Yes,
you all
ma'am.
understand ratio, right? 2:1:3. So the same is the case with mutual funds. You have a basket or you have a pool of securities in which you have each security in a certain percentage. Like equity is 20%. There are bonds, there are treasury bills, there are commercial papers. तो उसकी different percentage होती है.
Yes, ma'am.
आप उसमें invest कर सकते. You have to take one mutual fund. Now you take one mutual fund, and one mutual fund. In what all are you investing? You are investing in the ratio of 2:3:7, right? In equity bonds and treasury bills, right? So that is, I'm going to explain. And what is this called? Now, this holding of fund, जिसमें equity भी है, shares भी हैं, bonds भी हैं, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Portfolio. So now, if you all have been hearing me very, very attentively, I have always been asking you all that if you all have been investing in the markets, what is your portfolio like? So what do I mean by portfolio here? By portfolio, I mean that what all securities have you been investing in? What is your pool of securities? That is your pool of securities. अब म्यूचुअल फंड का पूल ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज अपना होएगा, बट जिस सिक्योरिटीज में आपने इन्वेस्ट किया है वो आपका पूल ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज होएगा, which is also called a portfolio. So that's a technical term which we use. So whenever you talk to a finance person or you talk to anyone and someone asks you about, okay, what is your investing portfolio like? So what you would say, okay, I'm investing in mutual funds. 20% of my money is parked in mutual funds, 30% is parked in stocks. And I have also been dealing in gold and silver. I've also been dealing in commodities. So that is what is your portfolio like, right? So that is what is called portfolio. Now, coming back to mutual funds, now the point, you all understood what are mutual funds?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now the point comes as to how do I invest in mutual funds, right? अब जब भी हम equity या stocks या इन सब में invest करते हैं, you either invest through a broker, you give a lump sum money to the broker and he invests on your behalf, or you yourself get the ticket of set up your own demat account and invest through a bank, or you yourself get the link to the market and you do direct investing on your own. Now that is how you invest in all these equity bonds. But how do you invest in mutual funds? Now there are two ways. One is lump sum, where you give lump sum money to the asset management company and they invest on your behalf. Like say, suppose I want to invest in Parag and Parekh. So what do I do is I invest directly rupees 1 lakh in Parag and Parekh. Now, there will be a lot of times when you want to invest in a mutual fund, you find that the mutual fund has very good returns, but you don't have sufficient money to invest in it. You just have what, 5,000, 6,000 rupees in your account. So what you can do is you can start with these SIPs. Those are small systematic investment plans. Right? So in systematic investment plans, what happens is every month, a certain amount of money gets deducted from your account, right? And that is invested in that specific mutual fund. So say, suppose I have a SIP of 5,000 rupees in HDFC large cap mutual funds, then every month 5,000 rupees will be deducted from my account and credited to my HDFC large cap fund. अब ये जो लार्ज कैप में टर्म बोल रही हूँ ये मैं अभी समझाती हूँ, ठीक है? Don't get too anxious कि ये क्या बोल रहे हैं. I'm going to explain it to you, right? So there are two ways. Number one is you invest lump sum. The second way is you do it through small systematic investment plans, as in you invest every month. Small amount you invest every month. Now that depends from every person to person. Now the question comes is, जब म्यूचुअल फंड्स ने इन्वेस्ट ही वही इक्विटी स्टॉक्स शेयर्स में करना है, तो why go through mutual funds? Why can't I invest on my own? Right? So that is what the point comes. Now the first and the most important point I feel is that you're getting professional management of your funds. How much ever you may be into investing, you can't give your 100% to your investing because you have another job going on the other side. Until and unless you are a stockbroker or something, right? And what knowledge they have about the market, you would not have. So by that, I mean, you're getting professional management of your funds. Secondly, they give extensive diversification to the sources, to the funds which you are willing to invest. How? They make sure that you invest a specific percentage of money in one or the other stock so that you multiply your money at a faster pace, rather than you investing on your own and slowly multiplying your money, right? So वो कहा जाता है ना कि they are professionals, उनका काम है ये करना. So they would definitely do it better than you. And transparency. All these asset management companies or all these mutual fund companies, they have certain set guidelines, and they are supposed to disclose all the information about whatever their mutual fund is investing in. So there is no risk of losing money, because you can never think that अच्छा ये वाली कंपनी तो bankrupt हो रही है, मेरे सारे पैसे चले जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है, because it is highly regulated by SEBI, right? So there is good amount of transparency. Now, another thing which was prevalent 2 years back was that a lot of people used to invest in mutual funds. Why? Because mutual funds were tax-free. Now, all of us, you would have heard your parents also, we try our very best to, save tax wherever I can. Not evade tax, but save tax wherever you can. Now, there is a huge difference between what is saving tax and what is evading tax. So here I'm talking about saving tax. But now, since the time COVID happened, the government also put tax on mutual funds. Are you all with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So government also imposed taxes on mutual funds. So this is just for your information, for you all to know that mutual funds are not anymore tax-free. There is a good amount of tax on mutual funds. Now, how is the tax? What is the tax like? Now, you all know this term. By now, you all know what is short term and what is long term. Short term is anything below 1 year, and long term is anything above 1 year, right? You all know that. Now it says for taxation, there are two types of taxations. One is for short-term capital gains in terms of mutual funds, and one is for long-term capital gains. Now it says, in case you withdraw your mutual fund prior to 12 months, then you are supposed to pay 15% tax on it if it is an equity-oriented fund. And if it is a debt-oriented fund, then you are supposed to pay as per the टैक्स स्लैब, जो हमारी मेन इंडिविजुअल की टैक्स स्लैब होती है, उसके हिसाब से आपको अपने कैपिटल गेन्स पे करना पड़ेगा. And when you talk about long-term capital gains, just try and understand it. In case you have held your mutual fund for more than 12 months, right? So then you are supposed to pay 10% above 1 lakh. So by that, I mean, if I've invested 2 lakh rupees in a mutual fund, in a long-term mutual fund, long-term equity-oriented mutual fund, which I have held for more than 12 months, तो उस पे मेरा कितना टैक्स लगेगा? 1 lakh के ऊपर कोई टैक्स नहीं है. It says 10% above rupees 1 lakh. So the first 1 lakh is exempted. But the second 1 lakh, 2 lakh minus 1 lakh is 1 lakh. So 10% on 1 lakh is 10,000 rupees. So my tax would be 10,000 rupees. Do I make sense to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? So, and for debt-oriented funds, it is 20% with indexation. Now, I don't want to get into what this indexation part is. It is something technical, which I would not want to explain you all. So just keep it in your mind कि debt के ऊपर भी 20% interest rate होता है. Nowhere you're going to calculate the interest rate on your own. Oh, sorry, the tax rate on your own, right? Just keep it in mind that in equity and debt, you have 10% and 20% respectively. Even if you don't keep it in mind, that's all right. My idea was just to tell you that there is a tax on mutual funds. This is how mutual funds looks like. Now, before I proceed further, I would want to show you something. Just give me a moment. So you all can see my screen, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. So I talked about money control in the last session also with you all, right? Money control is my go-to website for anything related to finance. So when we talk about mutual funds, here are the mutual funds. you go to find a fund. Now, why am I showing you this is now that I have explained you what a mutual fund is, you can yourself start doing your homework on mutual funds if you're interested in investing your money or your parents' money or whatever. Now, how do you look at various funds? How do we find out that what a portfolio of a fund is like, or, you know, is this fund good to be invested in? Should I invest in this fund? And what is the criteria to pick a fund for investing? Right? So this is what it looks like. I think I showed it to you last time also. The first column shows the CRISIL rank. Now, CRISIL is the rating agency, one of the best rating agencies in India. It rates the funds on the basis of their transparency and on the basis of the returns the fund has been giving. So I personally invest in 4-star and 5-star funds, which are rated 4-star and 5-star according to CRISIL. Now, AUM is assets under management. That means how much money has been invested in this specific mutual fund. Till now, how much, right now, how much money is being invested in this mutual fund? That means 758 crores is the money which is invested in DSP Natural Resources and New Energy Fund, right? So the more the money invested in the fund, the better it is, because that shows that a lot of people are showing trust in this fund. That means, you know, the market is putting its trust in this fund, right? So with that, I would probably, you know, guess that the fund has been performing better in the last times. That is why people are putting in more trust into this fund. And then what further you see, the ones in red and green ones, is the returns. Now, these returns are weekly returns, monthly returns, yearly returns, right? But these are all aggregated returns. So if I say the 5-yearly return, by 5-yearly return is पिछले 5 साल में aggregate return कितनी आई है, you know, deducting all the losses and adding all the profits, the gains, right? So that's how they calculate. Now, say suppose I want to open, let's open a 5-star fund only. This is SBI. Now, what you see is over here, what you see is this. Again, I explained it to you in the last session also. Now, I talked about portfolio. What is a portfolio? A portfolio is the types of securities a fund has invested its money in. Now, what is the portfolio like of this SBI Contra Fund is, you know, it's invested 80% in equity, 22.63% in debt, and 16.65% in others.
Ma'am, please explain portfolio.
Sorry?
Ma'am, please explain portfolio again.
May I know who's this?
I'm Dasveer.
Dasveer, why did you join late?
I
You just
forget.
joined 7 minutes back.
Ma'am, I think that the class is 11:30, so I forget.
It's
but the
4
class is
it's 4 o'clock.
yes,
Ma'am,
4
I'm
o'clock.
also late.
Sorry, ma'am.
Guys, please join on time. So portfolio, I repeat again, we were talking about mutual funds. Portfolio is it's the pool of securities. I mean, what all kind of securities is one mutual fund investing in is the portfolio. So if I come to you and I ask you this week, what is your portfolio like? And if you are an investor, you are going to tell me कि आपने कौन सी securities में अभी तक invest किया है. Maybe shares, maybe commodities, maybe gold and silver, or maybe some money market instruments. You know, that's your portfolio. And you would come and tell me कि 1 लाख रुपया तो मैंने इक्विटी में लगाया हुआ है, 2 लाख मैंने गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है. Gold, I would not say that you've got a brick of gold and kept it at your home. No, I'm talking about gold bonds. I'm talking about gold as a commodity in the commodity market, right? So that is what a portfolio is like. Now, Dasveer, taking you back again, mutual funds में portfolio किसको बोलते हैं? Mutual fund एक basket of funds है जिसमें various funds हैं जिसमें mutual fund company invest करती है. अगर आप एक mutual fund खरीदते हो तो उसमें proportions में आप equity, bonds और different securities में इन्वेस्ट करते हो अपने पैसे, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड द पोर्टफोलियो. Now, SBI Contra Fund has a portfolio of 8:3:1.5. Right? Am I wrong? Yes. What is the proportion like? Okay, forget about the proportion. Let's talk about the percentages only. So now if I say that 80% of the money in SBI Contra Fund has been invested in equity, तो इक्विटी में कितने स्टॉक्स लिए हुए हैं उसने, कौन सी किस तरह की इक्विटी ली हुई है उसने? 66 स्टॉक्स लिए हुए हैं, डिफरेंट टाइप्स के. इट मे बी टाटास, इट मे बी ICICI, इट मे बी HCL, इट मे बी एक्सिस, डिपेंड्स. नाउ इफ यू वांट टू गो एंड सी कि कौन से फंड्स में उसने पैसे इन्वेस्ट किए हुए हैं, कौन से स्टॉक्स में, कौन से शेयर्स में उसने पैसे इन्वेस्ट किए हुए हैं, then you go down here and you find out that these are the stocks which have been invested in. Now, these are the top 10 stocks. Look here. These are the top 10 stocks. These are not all the 66 stocks which they have given out. These are just the top 10 stocks. Now, if you want to do the detailed portfolio analysis, you see he's talked about all the portfolio analysis over here. View the complete holding. And you go further and you see all the 66 stocks which this mutual fund has invested in. I hope you all are with me. I'm not going that fast.
मैम जैसे हम जैसे SBI कॉन्ट्रा फंड में जैसे हम इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो जो मनी हम इन्वेस्ट करेंगे वो 66 में मतलब डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाएंगे, मतलब अपनी तरफ से.
हाँ जी, वो अपनी तरफ से इन 66 फंड्स में 66 स्टॉक्स में डिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाएंगे. एंड फर्दर, वन सेकंड, दिस विल लेट मी टेल यू. नाउ इफ यू सी हियर दिस व्हील, you see this is what the portfolio is like. अगर आप एक SBI कॉन्ट्रा फंड के म्यूचुअल फंड में इन्वेस्ट करते हो तो वो म्यूचुअल फंड में क्या क्या है, उसमें 80% इक्विटी है एक म्यूचुअल फंड में, 2.63% डेट है और 16.65% अदर्स हैं. राइट? सो थ्रू दिस दे इन्वेस्ट इन 66 इक्विटी स्टॉक्स. राइट? दे इन्वेस्ट. Yes, please.
Ma'am, others mean commodities.
One second, guys. Yeah, come again.
I'm saying in this other, it means commodities like gold, silver, all these.
Yeah. So others को भी देख लेते हैं. What is others? Wait. Others are these. You know, now these are TREPs. These are all instruments. These are net receivables. They can invest in various markets. It's up to them. You know, now you want to do a detailed portfolio analysis, you go further of where all it has been invested. You see this over here, right? So mainly what you need to see when you're investing in a mutual fund is that equity or debt mein kitne paise invested hain. This others doesn't make much of a difference because others mein hamesha 10 to 15% of your money is invested. But the major chunk is invested in debt or equity. So that is what you should be more concerned about. Right? Am I with you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Right. Yes, Nishkarsh.
Yes, ma'am.
Nishkarsh, you just raised your hand.
Hello.
You did.
Hello.
Okay. So that is what I wanted to show you about mutual funds. That's how, again, money control mutual funds, and you go here and you find a fund, top rank funds. That's up to you. What all do you want to find?
Ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, if we have to compare these mutual fund like the SBI Contra Fund, they have 80% equity, and in which they have 66 stocks. So if we have to see the best, if we have to just compare the best, if we are comparing some of the mutual funds,
Yes.
the more number of, if there are more number of stocks, then if in the SBI Contra Fund there are 66. If there are 100 stocks in other mutual funds, so is it safe to just invest in that? If you
No,
give
no,
more
no,
numbers.
no. No, that's not how it works. Very important. Now, Pratyush, whenever you talk about portfolio holding, it doesn't play much of a role in, कि अच्छा इसमें ज्यादा फंड्स है, इसमें इन्वेस्ट कर देता हूँ, इसमें 100 स्टॉक्स में इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ, इसमें इन्वेस्ट कर देता हूँ, नहीं. Now you see that, let's take this Canara. It's been showing good amount of returns, 19.64% returns over the past 5 years, right? Whereas if you see this Mahindra Manulife, it's been showing just 13% returns, right? Whereas both of them are 4-star, right? Can you see, Pratyush? And
Yes, ma'am.
Canara में कितनी AUM है? 3,208 crores.
Yes,
And Mahindra में कितनी है? 432 crores. Which one is better? AUM की
yes,
Canara
ma'am.
की ज्यादा है.
Yes, ma'am. It has more
Return की
number.
Canara की
Yes.
ज्यादा है. After looking at these 3 figures, then you go and you see what the holding is like, what the portfolio is like. Now you see here in equity, they've invested 96.61. Now, guys, remember, whenever you're investing in equity, that means you will get better returns or you will be into heavy losses because equity is a very volatile market. Right? Now, let's go back. I was talking about Mahindra Manulife. Look. Here also they have invested 98.61 all in equity. So that means portfolio दोनों का same है almost. दोनों ने equity में उतना ही invest किया हुआ, but which one's giving better returns? The Canara one. So if we have to, compare these two, I would go with Canara. Now, it is not that simple to, find out which one is better. Now, if I go to Canara, there are these ratios which, you consider while investing. I won't explain you those ratios, but you see these ratios. These are called the risk ratios. There's the standard deviation, beta, Sharpe ratio, Tynor's ratio, and Jensen's alpha. These are also the ratios which we consider while investing. Now, these are really high-end. We study this in MBA in finance. So, this is also one part which we look at, but I am sure looking at this would give you enough clarity about which fund to invest in to start with, right? Do I clear your doubt, Pratyush?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So this was all about mutual funds. Now, I had asked you to prepare as to what do you think, how do you think a financial market or a financial system, or I would say an economy, respond in a situation of stress. By a situation of stress, I would say that in a situation of recession, depression, or in a situation of pandemic, how do you think the financial system would take a hit?
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm sorry.
Before I take your question, I would give you 7 to 8 minutes to jot down your points. Think about whatever comes to your mind and jot down your points, and then we'll have a discussion. Yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, to interrupt, but ma'am, I have one doubt regarding mutual funds. Ma'am, if there is ELSS return and ma'am FlexiCap return, what would that be?
So those are all the different types of, one second. So this ELSS is equity linked savings scheme, right? So these are all different kinds of mutual funds. Ab mutual funds में भी बहुत types आती हैं. Let me show you 1 minute. Okay. So for your general knowledge, these are the various fund houses. ये सारी asset management companies हैं जिनके funds market में float करते हैं. These are the fund categories. Now, like we have, equity shares of different kinds. We have, long-term shares. We have short-term securities. The same way we have multi-cap, small-cap, contra fund. All these types of funds, Now, all these types of funds are based on, they are named on the basis of portfolio, कि कितनी equity holding है और कितनी debt holding है, right? ये अभी मैंने इस उसमें cover नहीं किया है, इस course में cover नहीं किया है, but in case you all are interested to read, I can share a PDF on this. But I don't think that would make much of a difference for you all. For you all right now, most important is to understand what a mutual fund is and how it works, right?
Okay,
So,
okay.
Ayush, you asked about ELSS
Yes,
and
ma'am.
all.
Yes,
This is
ma'am.
where
Okay,
it
ma'am.
is.
So we can just look at the fund without looking at the total portfolio and get the ratios, approximate ratio for the whole.
Yeah.
That's what. Okay.
Yes. So yes, I give you 7 to 8 minutes to just jot down the points. Please be quick because I have to finish this off and start with the next topic. So I repeat again, the question for today is, how do you think a financial market reacts in the situation of stress? I get back to you in what, 5-7 minutes?